Well, if you can tell the difference between great job and great job, then you already know the content of half of this session. In today's session, we are going to cover 4 poetic devices or literary devices that are there in your NCERT Flamingo, used in various chapters, but समझ में किसी को भी नहीं आई है. So let us try to understand them and get through them very quickly. So the 4 poetic devices that help you to criticize society and the people in it without having used any of the bad words are these: irony, humor, satire, and sarcasm. Now remember, when I have put these emojis in front of these words, ये सिर्फ मैंने ऐसी place नहीं करी है. I placed them very intelligently and intellectually. So ये emojis के through you can actually memorize, right? So basically irony is when life says lol at your plans. So एक वो positive चीज होती है which is not there in sarcasm. Sarcasm is, oh wow, what a brilliant idea, genuinely. But oh wow, what a brilliant idea, sarcastic. So humor is laughing with people, not at them. We are going to study the detailed poetic devices, and we will start with the very first one that is there, and that is irony. So irony is a poetic device that you use when there is a contrast between the expectation and reality. Now imagine that you expected that your score would be 95 and wo aaya 35. So that is ironical. The result was ironical, right? So whenever you have this huge gap, huge contrast between expectation and reality, irony is the poetic device that you can use. So basically, irony is when life says lol at your plans. Examples: fire station burns down. Fire station burning down. Huge irony, right? Teacher says this is very easy, but to the hardest of the questions that she can give. Writer is talented, but makeup artist is powerful. ये कहाँ से है irony? It is from Poets and Pancakes. So chapter का मैंने example उठाया है so that it becomes really clear कि एक हमारे स्टूडियो में एक स्टोरी राइटिंग डिपार्टमेंट में कौन ज्यादा पावरफुल होना चाहिए? Of course the writers, but ironically we have the makeup artists that hold the power. So एक specific line that you need to remember for irony: the contrast between reality and expectation when they are just opposite of each other. In that way, you can use irony. Now, irony is just like saying ki what should happen versus what actually happens, right? Expectation is that writers control the stories, but we know the makeup artists were controlling the stories, or the other people who were given privilege were controlling the stories. Creativity is powerless, whereas cosmetics has become powerful. So this again is an ironical situation. So the other example is from the book Vistas, from the chapter The Tiger King, right? In that particular chapter, what is the expectation? That killing tigers will save the king. But ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता, right? Rather, a wooden tiger kills him. So yes, the cause of death was a tiger, but not a living tiger, that a wooden tiger, right? So it is again a CBSE favorite irony. बहुत बार questions में पूछा जाता है कि explain the irony in this particular incident, explain the irony in this particular title, etc., etc., etc. Right? In fact, the title of the chapter, Going Places, it is in itself ironical. क्योंकि going places means that you are achieving heights of your career, बहुत ज़्यादा growth. That is when you say that you are going places. But in the chapter, we do not see that kind of thing. Rather, we see a fantasy world that Sophie has created for herself. That is far from any real growth. So it is far from going places. So that title is also ironical. So these are the examples of irony. Now let us go to the next one, that is sarcasm. Now sarcasm is basically a poetic device when you say something and mean the exact opposite, right? sarcasm is saying great job when the job is terrible. तो जैसे कि मैंने स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द वीडियो में किया था, great job and then great job. Both expressions are different from each other, right? Both of the expressions were different. So एक में I was genuinely appraising the child or praising the child for doing a perfect job, whereas second में I was using a sarcastic tone कि वो तो उसने खराब कर ही दिया task, that kind of thing, right? So this is sarcasm. It is actually a polite, a kind of usage of words which is polite, but the meaning is brutal. It is violent. Oh wow, what a brilliant idea. Similarly, oh wow, what a brilliant idea. Genuinely, but oh wow, what a brilliant idea. Sarcastic. So the first example be the praise of the praise of studio efficiency that actually exposes stupidity. So efficiency in terms of hierarchy. तो उससे क्या the writer is trying to pinpoint कि कितना stupid hierarchical system था वो, right? Sarcasm hidden under politeness. So of course you are polite on the outside, but the meaning that you want to convey is violent, right? It is not polite at all. Now let me just try to make you understand that sarcasm is basically different from satire. Because satire maybe you are making fun of the other person. Sarcasm maybe you are making fun of the other person. Satire maybe. But here the target is different. In sarcasm it is individual, whereas in satire it is society. So both the poetic devices, they actually try to make fun, they try to poke fun at the individual or the society, but हमारा target audience इसमें अलग है, target group हमारा अलग है. For sarcasm it is individual, and for satire it is society or the system. So of course we are trying to convey their shortcomings through violent words. तो इतना समझ में आ जाना चाहिए कि sarcasm is basically आप किसी की बेइज्जती कर रहे हो, right? But in polite words. Now satire is society seeing its own face and feeling awkward. Remember जो emoji मैंने बनाई थी starting में mirror वाली. So that kind of emoji. You are showcasing that these are the drawbacks in your system and you need to change. But satire में एक चीज होती है that you want a change of system, right? So you are making fun of the system in order to see a change in it. So एक वो एक positive चीज होती है which is not there in sarcasm. Sarcasm is individual and also it does not have any hope of change as such. So examples: news, debate, shouting, and no one listening. Schools caring more about uniforms than curiosity, make up more important than writers. So all these are actually satires on different systems. So if you think this one is actually a satire on journalism. कि सारे ही चीख रहे हैं कोई सुन ही नहीं रहा है. So what kind of debate is that? Then school system पे, education system पे, when schools are more focused on getting their students dressed properly than imparting knowledge. तो वो वाली एक. Then makeup department more important than writers in the film industry. तो ये भी एक satire ही है on the film industry. So if you talk about the whole chapter, the Poets and Pancakes, collectively it is actually a satire on the film industry. I hope you know that. और बहुत बार CBSE में question आता है कि explain the satire, how the chapter Poets and Pancakes is a satire, or how the chapter Tiger King is a satire on the society, etc. etc. बहुत बार क्वेश्चन आता है, just be clear with it. Then we have satire as seeing its own face, society seeing its own face and feeling awkward. Satire is equals to humor plus criticism plus social message. This is what I pointed out, है ना, कि satire में although there is humor, ये हमारा किस में होता है, ये हमारा sarcasm में भी है, right? ये भी हमारा sarcasm में है, but social message is something जो कि हमारा sarcasm में नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो एक individual पे होता है, और हमारी जो satire होती है that is based on the social system or the group. So of course there is no social message as such in sarcasm, whereas there is a social message in satire, right? Chalo, let us move to the final device, the easiest one, humor. So there can be laughter without attack as well. It is just like, let us laugh together on a joke rather than laughing at each other. Because sarcasm is more about laughing at the other person, and satire too. It is an attack. But humor is more about let's laugh together and not at them. So humor is laughing with people, not at them. What are the examples? Studio staff discussing communism without knowing what it is. So when the moral rearmament army comes, they all are discussing. Then similarly, when the English poet Stephen Spender comes, they all are discussing about communism, but उनमें से किसी को भी idea नहीं है कि what is communism all about. So when they are discussing among themselves, that is a classic example of humor. But when the writer is commenting the same thing, then that is an example of sarcasm or satire, both. Stephen Spender's lecture being politely ignored, humor arises from the innocent ignorance. So of course they all ignore it, saying कि यार ठीक है मतलब we don't know, कुछ तो बोल रहा होगा, कुछ अच्छा ही बोल रहा होगा. So that kind of humor. Then astrology. This example is from Tiger King. Astrology controlling royal decisions, laughable seriousness is equals to humor. So, of course, when the astrologer makes the prophecy that the king will have to die at the hands of a tiger, that is also humorous. That astrology is dictating the royal decisions. कि अब जो king है वो बड़ा होके सारे tigers को मार देगा, right? So that kind of thing is also there, which creates humor. So humor is saying we did not understand the lecture, and sarcasm is saying wow, that lecture changed my life. अब comment box पे सब मत लिख देना, just लिखना कि I did not understand if you did not understand. I don't want any sarcasm in the comment box. All right, let us move forward. So this is one short revision of all that I've told you in this particular session. What is that? Irony is expectation versus reality. Humor is gentle laughter when you are laughing with everyone else, not at a specific person, right? Satire, social criticism with humor. Social criticism meaning you are criticizing a group, a system. Sarcasm, sharp, biting remark, and that too attacking an individual. So if it hurts, it is a sarcasm. If it exposes the society or a system, it is a satire. And if it surprises, it is an irony, right? So look at the emotion that is generated when you read the sentences. So if it generates smile, then most probably it is going to be irony. And satire is something that makes you think, यार ये तो गलत है. And sarcasm makes you angry because it is pointed at you. And CBSE wants all three. It wants all the three poetic devices to be understood by you in extreme clarity. So please, whenever you see a question, write the answer accordingly. ऐसे ही example pick कीजिए. Generally, students are not able to differentiate between satire and sarcasm and irony, and now you should know the difference. That's it from my side. Stay tuned to Fit the Lit for more such educational content.